Well, before we start, I always start with one thing.
Uh-huh.
It should work. And this is gonna go for like a minute, bro.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I'm just gonna let you sit in that.
Okay. Good. I'm having a great time.
You having a great time? Mm-hmm. Every single podcast.
I almost just ate the microphone.
No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We have Brandon.
Hello. Wow, I didn't know there were air horns. That was epic.
Brandon, so good to have you on.
Dude, so good to be here. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. No, we've been trying to do this for a minute,
absolutely.
So I'm glad to finally
Thank you for your
be
patience.
here. No worries, dude.
Thank
Absolutely
you,
no
thank you.
worries at all.
Would you like to start by introducing yourself?
My name is Brandon Whipple. I'm a theater major. I'm a super duper duper senior. So super duper duper, I'm out of there. A fun fact about me is I sleep on my stomach.
Okay. All right. And what is everything that you do? What's every single talent of yours?
Every single dingle talent of mine. I'm a good friend. I can listen. I have a production company called Some Dude Productions.
Casually dropping in there.
That I don't know. I think I've started to use just the blanket term filmmaker.
Yes, you are.
Or artist.
Yep.
Because I wear so many hats, dude.
Yeah.
I got one on right now.
You didn't shut up.
But no, I've come up doing a lot of different things.
Yeah, man.
So it's
You've been doing it for a while.
yeah. With SDP for almost 8 years now. It'll be 8 years
Wow.
come May.
Wow.
And doing filmmaking stuff for about a decade now. I'd say
That's
decade
crazy.
plus.
How many projects do you guys think you've done?
Oh man,
Yep.
you'd think at this point we'd have like a
tracker?
number. I was like, all right, we've done this many productions, but
Y'all just keep going.
yeah, we have 5 features, one of which is in post right now. Wait, is that true? Might be 6 features, 2 in post.
Unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
And we have so many shorts and little comedic sketches and little things we've done throughout the years just to like kind of throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
What has stuck has been a zombie series that I've
Absolutely.
been doing for
Yeah, it's a little.
since the COVID times.
You know, it's just a little thing. You know.
What else do I do? I'm a bread salesman.
You're a bread salesman.
I'm a bread salesman. That's my post college job.
Very talented.
I'm a vendor. I sell bread at Costco's.
Yeah.
Focaccias for those interested.
Hey, I need one.
Dude, they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So long as you add a bit of oil or butter on top,
I need one.
and cook it the right way, it's good.
God damn.
But they are very easy to cook the wrong way.
Oh, okay.
Very easy to cook the wrong way.
How so?
Well, I get a lot of people who are like, "Hey, I made this at home and it was ass." And
You're like, you're not doing it right.
Well, yeah. I'm like, "How'd you do it?" Like, I microwaved it. I'm like, "Well, don't microwave bread."
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so that's the 2 sides of my coin: bread salesman and
It's kind of fire.
creative director of a company.
Kind of fire. How many people? This is a grand question. How many people would you say have worked with or on Some Dude Productions?
Oh man,
Yeah.
oh man.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually
Kind of think about it.
no. It's actually something I was thinking about recently, just in terms of Some Dude Productions. I feel is known for its skeleton crews. We have like
Yeah.
maybe 5 people on set for like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just thinking back throughout the years and how we got a lot of our early projects made, they were so community based.
Absolutely.
Even with people who weren't necessarily like on the film directly.
Mm-hmm.
Like my latest film that I've directed, WITHERED, part of that shot in my old high school
Oh, that's
in
awesome.
South Dakota. And how that came to be was my senior year, we got a new principal.
Okay.
Brand new guy. He was kind of like I grew up on a reservation, native school. And this was a white guy.
Okay.
So immediately the kids are kind of like, oh, fuck. We got a white
deal with this
principal
guy.
now? Really? Okay. But I liked to premiere my films that I made in high school, like to the school. And I was able to do that because I was tight with the previous principal.
That's awesome.
So I was like, well, I got to make a good first impression right away. So like first day of school, I walked into his office. I was like, hey, Mr. Principal, my name is Brandon. Nice to meet you. And I was like the first kid who like did that.
Oh, that's cool.
And
man.
so since then, he always just fucked with me.
That's awesome.
And
man.
so when I hit him up for WITHERED, I'm like, hey, can I shoot in the school for like a day? And he was like, yeah.
That's great.
And like I never saw him like directly. We only exchanged emails.
That's wonderful. You don't need to.
Yeah, but
Wow.
well, it's just super cool. And there's like a dozen more stories like that of just like finding a location or an actor or some way through someone else who
Of
isn't
course.
necessarily
All good
on the
connections.
project. Yeah, exactly.
Because it's always a good time on your sets.
Yeah, I hope so.
No,
I think that there's some where I'm like, where maybe I might feel a little uh-oh.
Yeah.
But I do aim as, head of everything to like curate a very warm and like welcoming set.
Yeah.
It's not too like, we got to get this thing done, but
Yeah.
also like, we got to get this thing done.
If I'm on a Sunday production set, I know it's going to be an adventure for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, obviously I know it's going to be safe, and it also always feels like a family or a community that we're a part of.
Absolutely.
The past few productions I've been on have always been like, I've never done this before, but this is kind of awesome. This is kind of crazy.
Well, like hike
But-
up a mountain and
yeah,
go
this is
shoot
like
in the
hiking up-
forest.
Yeah, like
in
I've
the
never
middle
done
of the
that
night.
before. That's a new one. Or being in the snow that was a cool one too. I forgot that.
That was really cool. You missed the blizzard day of that.
Yes,
as
I
well.
did. Yes, I'm glad that I did. Honestly,
Yeah, no, it was a lot.
I'm grateful that I did.
That was a story. If you ever get Gabby on here, you need to get her to give her account
Okay,
of the blizzard story.
That's gonna be wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I remember I can't remember what shoot. It may have been. Can't remember which one it was, but I know we was in the mountains. It was completely dark, but we was in this not desert area, but it was just like a little dusty little area that we did the fight scene between. I know it was my first appearance for George.
In Raven?
Maybe. I know it was my first appearance, and he was at a campfire. I'm blanking.
Oh,
But-
is that when you take Charv and Gabby away?
Yeah, I think so.
And we were fucking with Gabby the whole time because she was like kind of freaking out because we were in the middle of
Yeah,
the forest and
yeah.
and we were like,
Yes.
what's that?
Yes, I do remember that.
Said
Absolutely.
Hatman was there.
Mr. Hatman.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Hatman.
Listen, we curate a warm and welcoming set.
We like to traumatize our
unless you're Gabby
actors.
Feingold, in which case we're gonna fuck with you a little bit.
We gotta traumatize you a little. It's okay. But yeah, no, on every set, I've always had a good experience. I mean, even the very first thing that I worked on, I'm pretty sure that was for Sunday Productions, and it was like
It's Outbreak, right?
yeah, man, yeah,
No,
man.
was reminded recently that you were in that because I was updating your page on our website, and
Yeah.
there's a little section that's like everything, all the SDP projects that each team member's done. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
oh yeah, this fucking guy was in Outbreak. He was a zombie.
I was a zombie, bro. That was the first.
Twice, right?
I think so. It was
Yeah.
one in the basement, and then there was one
the news report where
well,
you get
where I get where I
Gabriella. Yeah.
Absolutely, I did. Yeah, those are I think my first few times acting. Ever,
Really?
Ever? Yeah.
Dude.
I didn't start acting
That's
until the zombie thing. I think I just saw in some group chat, and it was just like, would anyone be down for this opportunity? I was like, okay, why not? That'd be kind of cool. That'd be
Dude.
kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you guys, you started my acting journey, and after that, after class, and then a couple of other projects, and then of course, Sunday Productions has always been like a consistent presence throughout all of that, which has been really awesome to see, man.
Dude, I'm glad you said that. It's something we definitely, I guess I definitely aim for,
Yeah.
With the past year, I feel like there's a little bit of a slow. That's just 'cause, like a main portion of our team graduated college
Yeah.
and was navigating that.
gotta adjust.
But we're now at a point where people are getting settled, and you're aware, but we're starting to get a lot more productions
Yes, sir.
up and going. And I keep telling people this. 2025 is the year that Somebody Productions cooks.
Yeah.
2026 is gonna be our year.
Yeah.
There's just gonna be
love
there's
that.
so much going on that will be coming out that year that I'm just like, it's gonna be so sick. I can't wait.
What was the decision making behind making Some Dude Productions? An LLC or like an actual?
We did that recently with a lot of help from Ian Melamed, who's the business manager of the company.
Yeah.
It wasn't in largely his call. It's something we've definitely needed to do, but aren't kind of like weren't rushing to do immediately, because I think there is generally this rush to, you know,
Have your own production company and
not even that, to incorporate and like
okay.
become official and legitimate in the eyes of the government. I'm
Okay.
like, well, why do you want to do that? Like, skate by and just do your own
Just
thing
exist.
for as long as you can until you kind of can't
Until you
afford to
have to.
anymore.
Yeah,
Which is what I wanted to do. I was like, the second, I don't know, I didn't want it to become that official so fast until I knew like this company was going to be okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Whereas you guys become corporate or an actual entity, and then it just kind of
But like buzzes out.
just
Yeah.
kind of- yeah.
Like the fact that it survived, you know, so this year out of college,
Yeah.
and people are so excited about it and getting it back into it. I'm like, that's a phenomenal sign.
Yes.
That there's still so
consistent.
much life here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But what led us to LLCing was that Withered entered a distribution deal, which it's still currently in the middle of itself. Like, don't even ask me because I don't even know. That's an Ian question. All I know is I directed that movie 2 years ago, and I really want people to see it because
That's how it happens.
it's fun. I don't want to hype it up too much, but I think it is my best work.
It's your best work, yeah?
I think so.
You gotta hype it up.
It's because it kind of returns to a form of simples storytelling that the first couple of films in the DECAYS series
Okay.
had. They were very low key. You know, it's a single protagonist, you know, wandering the plains of
Yeah.
South Dakota.
Okay.
As the series progressed, you know, stakes ramped up. You know, as they do in storytelling.
Of course. Multiple storylines and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with kind of the direction the series is heading now, we were able to kind of do this movie that's kind of slowing the pace down, but still moving the story forward. But,
Of course.
kind of lending itself to be a bit of a simpler production, but in that way, it really shines and is bold, and like the character moments and the acting.
Absolutely.
And Alyssa, who's the lead, she's so
Very
fucking
talented.
phenomenal, dude. Like she is going places in this industry. She's a
Yes.
powerhouse.
Yes.
And she's a name that people are gonna know.
Yeah.
But she's so great in that. And Sebastian, who's also in that, is so great. My two younger sisters, Sophie and Izzy, they're both in it.
Very talented.
And my dog, dude. My fucking dog is in that movie. You
The
kidding
whole
me?
family's talented.
Yeah. Even it's funny. He has now acted. He's acted again. We did a horror short with him, where his name was, in Withered, his name was Mare, and in the new one, his name was Rufus.
Rufus.
It took him a little bit to start responding to Mare. Like my sister had to train him for a little bit. But we start shooting this new horror short, and I'm calling him Rufus
Is he
and
responding?
everything. And he's kind of like, I call him Rufus, and he looks at me and he goes, "What?"
mean me?
He's like, "Me? Okay."
You talking to me?
And then we get a bit into the production. I start calling him Rufus, and he just knows, and he comes right to me.
That's an actor right there.
Yeah, right.
That's a star right there.
So yeah, Heinrich. He's gonna his first 2 credits. Who's to say he won't have a few more?
Love to see it. Love to see it. I think what's been cool with Some Dude Productions is that I definitely feel like you guys are pretty much, of course, it's this family, it's community, but also I love that you guys have, it feels like you have, not a roster, but it feels like you guys have these actors or cinematographers or whomever that you go to, and you just keep using them. And it works out very well. I think that's really cool that you have this like consistent group of people that are probably going to be involved in the projects, whether it be in the same role or whether it be in a different role. But even with like directing or acting wise or whatnot, like I think that's been the first time. I mean, acting wise, in my own experience, of course, you have like the one-off short film or a mini series or whatever. But what you guys are doing with obviously the whole. I mean, even the LLC itself. That's that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool to see this consistent presence and knowing, hey, I'll probably be in one of their projects again. And that's been a very grateful experience. It's been really cool to,
of course,
be a part of that.
Yeah, it's in terms of like the roster. I'm like, every filmmaker has like their people.
Yeah.
You know, Tarantino has his crew. Scorsese. You know, I'm the same way. I got people I know who I work well with, and I'm like, I want to work with you again.
That's
you
so
know,
cool.
But I also leave the door open for new people. Of
Yes.
course, you know, like because that's also part of the joy of it is
Discovering.
discovering new people, meeting new people, meeting new friends.
Yeah.
You know, through production. So that's always, you know, there is admittedly when we're starting production, doing pre-pro and everything, we kind of look at our roster first and like, is there any people on our end who would already fall into these roles? But there's also some roles where we're like, we want to cast for this one. Like, so we don't have anyone here who could do this one, or like, it'd be nice to give someone an opportunity to take on a role like this.
How do you go about finding new talents?
Alyssa. She's our casting director, so she's usually in charge of all the casting calls and everything. But
that's cool.
Right now, it's mainly Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, we share them that way because I
feel like word of mouth too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm open to like, you know, people outside of, you know, this area and everything, auditioning and everything. But you kind of alluded to it a bit earlier. You know, coming up as a theater major here at USC, it was hard to find productions to do and everything.
Yeah.
You know, so I also kind of, you know, being a Trojan and all, fuck off, whatever. I also want to like give the opportunities to SDA kids who like are looking for like to expand their reels or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I know there could be some really fucking talented people coming out of this school.
Yeah.
That's where all my team's from.
Absolutely.
You know? So I also, we curated a bit that way as well. But obviously, you know, if you're not from USC, SDA, you could also audition. Like Trinity, who's one of the leads in Deserter, I met at work.
Oh, wow.
So...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now
I love that.
her and Eric are home dogs.
That's
also
so
met
cool.
Eric at work. Eric's the company sound designer,
That's awesome.
actually.
See,
And have you met Eric?
has he gone to any of the gatherings recently?
You know what? I don't think you've met him yet,
No,
but you gotta.
I'll meet him.
What do you have? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Oh, you didn't come to the Deserter rap party.
I don't think I was able to know.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
It's my bad.
You will one day. That's my guy.
That's
And a
cool.
phenomenal sound designer.
Okay.
I met him at work, but he wants to do sound design for like video games and stuff.
Okay. Now that's cool.
And so he's like using us as practice
Okay.
to like
okay,
expand
smart.
his reel and everything. But he's like gore wise, he's really good.
Yeah.
Another film I have coming out, Oliver versus the Universe, which is crazy.
Yes, sir.
Sci-fi
Yes, sir.
multiverse adventure. He's doing the sound design for that, which has a little like glitching.
That's gonna be
effects
wonderful
and stuff. And
that'll be a def one.
it's so good. Like you can get a little sample of his sound design in the trailers that are out right now because they're both sound designed by him. Just a very, very talented guy, and I'm just so shocked, honestly, that Some Do Productions was his first credits.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're so talented. I can't believe I'm the one discovering you.
I think you guys have a great habit of finding people that probably haven't done much else and kind of just finding them and working with them.
Yeah, no, because there's talent everywhere, and this is something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
It's the current state of the industry and how business oriented it is, and like how you need so many followers or whatever, like
Influencers and- yeah.
like I saw like Maya Hawke and Ethan Hawke talking about this, and like
It's crazy that she would even have to worry about that.
yeah, and like Universal's pushing Scarlett Johansson to get an Instagram because of the new Jurassic World,
They
and I'm
did say
like,
that.
what? That
I saw that foolishness.
and so that stuff like that honestly really scares me about the industry. And I'm like, because it's not about making art anymore. It's about making money.
It's a commodity.
Yeah, and so I as of recently have kind of stopped aiming to break into the industry and into Hollywood. Cause I'm like, I don't want to get in there just to have to compromise
And have to
my art and
sacrifice
my
your
vision. Exactly. And so my honest to God goal as a filmmaker right now is to just keep working on some new productions. Obviously, if someone like you or someone else like asked me, hey, can you come help me on this thing? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of my creative focus is going to go into my own company and building out my own brand into something that could potentially support and sustain me and my people one day.
I was actually going to ask, well, obviously, no one has done, a company like this before. And the main thing that I think about when it comes to the Some Do Productions is Marvel. In my mind, I always just come back to Marvel. And so I'm curious. It seems you've made those comparisons too. Plus, I love I can't remember if it was April Fool's or something when you guys did
the DECAYS slate.
Yes, when I tell you I believed it at first, I was looking at this thing and I'm like, God, they got a lot of goddamn projects. I'm like, fuck. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, some of these don't sound right. I was like, okay.
Do you want to know we can get into it, but the funniest part about that post is if you look, I made that early in the morning on April Fool's. Like, it wasn't like planned or anything. I woke up that day, I was like, oh shit, we got to do something for April Fool's. What about this? It's like, crank it out. But there's a point where like the end of year just repeats. Like, it goes from like,
and I should have noticed.
It goes from like October 11th, 2025 is one movie, and the next one is January 15th, 2025. Like, it doesn't move to 2026.
I should have freaking noticed. God damn it.
But anyway, I think less so now, what I liked about Marvel back in the day was since they had such a chokehold on people, they were able to be so like savesy with the details of their movies. And I love that sentiment of going into a movie without really fucking knowing what's going to go on. Like, maybe you think you do.
Okay.
But
you feel like most of the movies, they could be different heroes or whomever, but like it won't drastically change the formula.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is those early movies were marketed in such a way where, I guess it didn't really matter like what was going on. You were in for some sort of surprise and some sort of roller coaster. Whereas now with movies, I feel like you're kind of like, I kind of know what's gonna go on.
Absolutely.
And another thing with Marvel that I think I'm also taking on is like their planning, but less so to a public extent.
Okay.
I love to know where I'm steering the ship.
Yeah.
As soon as the first DECAYS wrapped, I had ideas for DECAYS 2 and 3.
Of course.
I was like, if this one does well, I don't just want to do a second one, because I believe every story has a beginning, middle, and an end. I want to do 2 and 3 for Pops Off, and that's why it's outlining those. Even now, we have like stories outlined for like the next couple of years. But the reason we're very like, we're savesy is because plans change.
Yeah.
We've had plans for films over the past 2 years or so that were like, oh yeah, we're going to do this one. And then we start, we're cooking on it more. And we're like, oh no, what if we actually did this one? Things are always going to be changing. And so and this is what I appreciate about James Gunn's DC, is that he's like, yeah, we're not announcing or confirming anything until the script's script's good to go.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, yeah, that's how you should do
Whereas
it.
you got Marvel throwing out dates to be like, yeah, we got this going on.
Yeah, we're working on the script.
We're working on this too.
Yeah, so like,
no one's attached, but it exists.
So yeah, I have like a rough idea of how the DECAYS series is going to end.
Okay.
And like how many films it will take to get there, blah, blah, blah. But I am 100% willing to compromise that vision
okay,
and change it if there's a better story or opportunity presents itself.
How do you ensure, well, for you guys, like you said, when it comes to a project, and I know you're already kind of planning in advance if it does get successful, but how do you know or feel like when the project, if it does pop off and you're like, maybe we don't have to continue this, or we don't need to continue this? Or is it always just like, why not? If it does pop off, let's just keep going.
It's 100% the story and the necessity for more.
Yeah.
Like Serov, for example.
Yeah.
Popped off.
Yes.
Phenomenal film. I love it. The comments don't.
How were
But that's okay.
What were the comments?
The comments are great. A lot of history buffs being like, rah, 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 rah. And I'm
okay.
like, people who clearly
very
do not
specific.
understand what historical fiction means.
Okay. That's a good point.
But popped off in terms of like views and everything, and it was just very, very successful in terms of its film festival
really cool,
run.
man. That was really cool.
We're not planning a Sarah 2.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't need one.
Okay.
Whereas the DECAYS series, that's such a living and breathing universe. Not that Sarah isn't.
Yeah.
But DECAYS kind of lends itself to more stories as it continues. So
Yeah.
as you meet these new different characters and everything, and the world just begins to expand. Like DECAYS 3, the end of the DECAYS trilogy saw the introduction of Raven,
Yeah.
who then got her own spinoff.
Absolutely.
Then her own feature, which is in post right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's easier to kind of take this universe and run with it and give a story that's a very meaningful, not even to the world, but to the characters. Because that's always like me and Keeney, Sam Keeney, who's another, I'd say for the DECAYS series is like my creative head with it, because him and I brainstorm a lot of the ideas together. And he's written the Raven series.
Of course. Very talented.
But what was I saying?
Well, you was talking about. Well, you guys pretty much were creating the project together, but you felt like that world deserves to be.
Oh, I was spinning it. Yeah. Sorry, I started thinking about Keeney.
You started thinking
I
about
lose
Sam.
thought. I'm like, oh, my buddy.
Oh.
But we always prioritize the characters and their need for a story. Like, we don't want to beat a dead horse.
Okay.
Essentially. Like in the third DECAYS film, I have the character Lawton, who's played by my buddy Luke Sobo. Love that man. It's one of my brothers. When I was writing DECAYS 3, I had rough plans for like post DECAYS 3 stuff, like potential stories. And honestly, a lot of them were like, what badass thing does Lawton do in this one? And he was kind of turning into like a Daryl Dixon.
Yes.
Like what happened to him in Walking Dead, where it's like, he's just here to do cool shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, your character arc kind of ends within this film.
Interesting.
So it kind of makes sense that your full story ends here as well, which prompted me killing him off. Loved the character, and there's even points where I'm like, oh fuck, it'd be cool if Lawton was here as an option, but he doesn't need to be.
That's cool.
So yeah, when we feel it's time to kill a character, we will. We are not shy of that. But if we feel there's more of their story to tell, and there's more to get out of them, we'll keep beating the dead horse. Not fully, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's a goal right now, or was one of the goals to have like a film be SAG-AFTRA, or kind of be like a SAG-AFTRA production?
I'm gonna keep this vague because I don't know what's gonna happen. We have a film coming up, which it's in writing. If it does get to the production phase, it would consist of a lot of cast members who have worked with us throughout the years, who have been very like loyal to Some Productions, have been very real, as well as some new people.
Yeah.
And it's such a large cast. Right now, we're kind of like, if we were gonna make a film SAG eligible and to help the people who have really helped this company throughout the years, it would be this one.
I see. That's smart.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of steps you have to do, but homegirl Tori Martzloff, assistant business manager,
Amazing.
knows the process of SAGifying a film.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens, but
What's the goal for Some Dude Productions right now?
survive. No, we are
In this industry.
We're doing some horror shorts right now.
Yeah.
We're doing a bunch of horror stuff. We're hoping to, I won't give away too much, but we're hoping to have a pretty interesting October, pretty interesting spooky season. You know what the plan is.
I'm excited for it.
So we're working on a bunch of horror shorts. We did 2 last year, Nightside and From Within, which are really awesome. I wrote one, Keeney wrote the other and directed it, and my sister directed the one I wrote. That one's doing well film festival wise. We're waiting to hear back from Within on some, but we're kind of gonna try and step it up this October with our short film.
What was the decision to kind of create the horror festival and kind of?
Horror seems to be a thing that people. It's not that they expect it from us, but it's like some dudes they do the gory.
When I think of horror, I think Some Dude Productions.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's something we kind of want to lean into. It's something that also like I feel like we as a team have a lot of like ideas for horror pieces more than anything else.
Yeah.
And so it was like instead of sprinkling a bunch of different horror shorts throughout the year, why not drop them when it's the best time of the year to drop horror shorts? And that's right.
That is
middle
fire.
of October, spooky season.
I'm imagining that being like a whole festival kind of if that pops off in the future.
Yeah.
That could be that'd be cool as hell, dude.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's something that if we do pull it off and do it this year, I don't know if it'll be we'll aim to do it again the following year, just because right now our following year is already looking pretty booked.
Yep.
But it may be like a bi-yearly thing or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It all depends on if we can pull this off and if it pops off in October.
I know you have some really cool projects in development.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like Some Dude Productions, do you guys feel like you will ever shift away from horror, or do you feel like you're comfortable in that genre and you've excelled at it, but do you want to? Is the focus or the goal ever shift to let's attack these other things and see how we can do?
I think what's great about Some Dude Productions, and it's a point that I think I need to start getting across a bit more. It's that we do a lot of like gory horror stuff, but really, I want Some Dude Productions to be a avenue for people to create films they wouldn't otherwise be able to get created.
Okay.
Like if someone has like a short script or even a feature, honestly, and it's something that we feel we have the capacity to do justice and help them out with.
Yeah.
Like I would love to do that. I love taking other people's films because that's why I started this company back when I was a sophomore in high school, because there weren't any film opportunities for me.
Absolutely.
In the middle of nowhere, South Dakota. So I was like, well, I'm going to, get my friends together and just make a web show and do my own stuff. And then that's just the mentality I've carried all the way through now, is not trying to sell my script or get my production made to someone else. Just do it myself. And I want to do what I can to help people also get their films made, because it's so hard. Holy crap, it's hard.
Y'all make it look easy.
We try, man, but it's definitely guerrilla filmmaking. Filmmaking on a budget.
That's true.
So sometimes some people will come to us and they'll have a script and it's like, yeah, I'm thinking this will be like a 10, 15K budget. And some people are like, oh, that's whatever. I'm like, Some Dude Productions, our highest budget thing was like maybe 3K, something like that. Like we can stretch $1, which I think shock a lot of people.
Very useful.
Yeah,
very resourceful.
Yeah, I don't know. We cut corners that I've never seen necessary, because I started making films on my own in high school, and then I got here, and then like learned the proper way.
Absolutely.
And kind of like picked and choose what I liked. There's some shit that I'm like, we don't need a 12-person crew.
Yeah.
I need what I need? I need 2 or 3 really talented guys.
Yeah.
And we could do the same shit.
Absolutely.
Much faster.
Yeah. Way more effective.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I mean, one of the big projects I'm developing now, to go back to your question, is definitely a little lighter. It's definitely not horror. It'll still be a little like adult.
Okay.
But not less like, ooh, scary. But no, I fully encourage not only the Some Dude Productions team, but also like anyone who's like within the sphere of knowing us. Like you have a script idea and you think we could do it.
Yeah.
Like hit us up. Let's figure it out. No, it is gonna be made with guerrilla filmmaking tactics, but that's how we do it, baby.
It's gonna be cool as hell.
That's how we
though.
do it.
It's gonna be cool as hell.
Yeah.
What canceled projects? Well, I don't know if you can say, but what canceled projects, if you can say, were you really disappointed that you just had to let go?
Ooh. I The one that immediately jumps to mind is we were gonna do a Lawton movie with my friend Sobo, who I mentioned earlier. It was gonna be like a pre-apocalypse, like military move, and like Andre was stunt coordinating. He was bringing on a bunch of people.
When was this gonna happen?
We were looking to shoot it honestly, like a year ago.
Okay.
Because Sobo was in town. He's not normally. We had cast a lot of people, and yeah, we were starting to do choreography and pre-pro and stuff. Were you not there? Do you remember that?
I don't remember this. No.
That's so funny.
Wait. Were we doing? Was I involved in the stunts?
Yeah, man, you were there.
I was doing stunts. You're right. You're right. And then Luke, he had to leave, or was that not the reason why?
It was basically the location that we were going to shoot at. There were like some safety concerns that came up with like the stunt work, and so we were like, what happened is I reworked the script, found a way to make it completely like outside, just out in the desert. But then it kind of just like, as we were getting closer and closer to do production, it just kind of kept falling apart. So like, I got to the point where I was like, we can either drag this along, or I can just pull the cord right now. Because I've been there before. I've had a couple of projects that I didn't fully get off their feet.
Yeah.
And the writing was on the wall. And so like we were in a Zoom meeting, all talking, they were all talking, trying to figure it out. Like, what we do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, guys, there's nothing we could do. Because I think Sobo would end up leaving sooner.
Yeah.
Was another aspect of it.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but the script was so cool. The choreo was looking so sick.
Are you gonna revisit it?
Sobo hates Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So
he's never. Yeah, he is over.
Yeah, he's in. I believe my friend is in New York.
He's in New York right now.
Yeah,
okay,
for
cool.
a beat.
Cool for him. That's
yeah,
cool. That's awesome. I can't be mad at it. Can't be mad.
No,
at
honestly, no. I had to reassure him. Like I fucked with him, but I was like, there's no like bad blood or anything. Like shit happens.
Yeah,
would have been so cool.
Would have been awesome.
But like, also in the grand scheme of like the DECAYS series, like there's a prequel of a character who dies and dies. So it would have been cool, and I love him, but it wasn't fully necessary for the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I remember the web series that I really wanted to be a part of.
Oh,
I know,
man.
I know.
We can fully talk about that because that's never gonna happen. So.
When I heard about it. Well, first of all, I appreciate you being like, if you want to direct the episode, you can. I was like, that's terrifying. Don't know if I want to do that. That's terrifying, but I agreed to it. And well, first, that definitely, hearing that, I was like, maybe directing is something I can actually do. That'd be really cool to do. And so, again, Some Dude Productions being responsible for me kind of getting the motivation to want to do something or approaching something very differently. And I think it was around that time that I started kind of getting into that field of directing and actually, being responsible for creating projects. So that was really cool. But yeah, man, that when I read the scripts, they were awesome. They were awesome as hell.
We should name drop The Absolutely Not Normal Life of Hayden Harvey.
Was so ambitious and
very
ambitious, and I loved it. In my mind, I was like, this is a lot.
Oh yeah,
this is a lot, and I am very curious how they will do it. I was like, but it's Some Dude Productions.
Spoiler alert, they wouldn't. It would prove to be way too much, and they would not do it.
Just a spoiler alert. But I was like, it's Some Dude Productions. It can happen. I wouldn't be surprised. But and plus, I think that's the main thing was just availability and locations, of course. Yeah.
Well, the here's what it was. That's a script I wrote my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
Because I did a web show in high school, and I was like, now this is gonna be my college web show. I'm gonna do this through all of college. It's gonna happen for sure.
For sure.
So I wrote like the first season, which you read.
Yeah.
Cast it all, freshman year. I had Hayden, had the whole gang. COVID hit.
Yeah, you're right. There's been multiple iterations. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, well, this show's not gonna happen. And then after, I think there was a little failed attempt when we got back from COVID to like, are we still interested in this? Nope.
Okay.
And then later on, we were finally like, okay, well, if we don't do this show now, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So this was the most off its feet it got. It got like maybe up to its knees.
Yeah, man.
With like the cast and everything. We shot almost all of episode 1, and we started episode 2. There's footage. But the main issue is, since I wrote it my freshman year, and it didn't go through a lot of editing, because I wanted to stay true to freshman Brandon's vision.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. It was fully an ensemble piece where it was like this huge cast, and they were all basically in every episode all the time.
Yeah.
Like it like
It is a big,
they revolved and everything, but like it was a big cast all the time.
much.
So I think there was one day where we managed to schedule. It was for episode 2, where like not even everyone was there, but like the most people we were able to get there were there. We shot some of that, but even scheduling like on the When Is Good, that was one free day out of like none. Ensemble show, impossible to schedule people.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, it was generally just a production nightmare. And I honestly, it's, you thanked me for it earlier, but what I'm about to say is a little fucked up. I think part of why Hayden Harvey kind of collapsed was the delegation.
What do you mean?
The delegation upon my very specific vision.
Okay.
I still don't think the show would have like finished, but I low key think it might have gotten a little further
if you took the reign.
Yeah, because I think what episode 3 was where the kind of like we hit a wall, because it was like trying to schedule time with like the director and blah, blah, blah.
I see.
And then
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
yeah, exactly.
Got you.
And so we're currently developing another show right now that I'm gonna take the reins. I'm gonna direct all the episodes
Oh, that's fire.
of this first season.
Yeah.
If we are allotted more, I'm gonna be much more open to passing off the director reins and everything, just because at least if we're doing a season 2, the show
It can be done.
is off its feet
Yes.
at this point.
There's a basis, a foundation.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I think to get it off its feet, I'm gonna
Okay.
take them all.
That's a good point. That is fair.
Just as the original dude of the company.
No, that's a good point. Sometimes you got because with that project, it was like with the scheduling and that, I was just like, I don't know when this is gonna happen.
And it didn't.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It's okay.
No,
It's
great.
all right.
Super cool script. I am bummed it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't. You're hopeful. I don't think it's ever.
I'm
happen.
hopeful. I think it could happen. I think if there's more,
I think perhaps a version could happen, but not
a
that
version of it, an iteration of it.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether it be on a smaller scale or whatnot, I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I'll hope.
But it's I don't know. It's part of the new show I'm working on. It's kind of reinvigorated
Yeah.
what it means to be an artist
Yeah.
to me, because
I'm excited for it.
I'm folding so many elements that I created and thought of like years ago, but never really used for anything. And I'm like, now this gives me an outlet to use these
Absolutely.
ideas, no matter how insane or wacko they might be.
Yeah.
I mean, one of which being the character you were going to play in that original show, I just plucked over, and now he's in the new show.
Very grateful.
So that was one of the first. As soon as I knew we were doing the new show, I was like, and Trey's gonna be Ronan.
Oh, stop it.
No, honestly,
Oh, stop.
because no, you're as George in the Raven films, you're fucking phenomenal. And Keen and I were just talking about getting you more shit to do.
I'm down for it all.
Acting wise, hell yeah.
I'm down for it all.
But
dude.
because I know you were so excited about playing Ronan as
Yeah.
well, and it's such a interesting character where in this new show can shine in such a different light. So I was like, no, Ronan's coming over for sure.
In my mind, some version of it, I'm thinking of like it being Fisk. Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about in my mind. This is probably a stupid question, but will Some Dude Productions stay in LA or will it ever be based elsewhere?
I think we, as the people, as artists, give LA too much power.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people come here to break into the industry and then just start doing independent work. and then just stay here feeding the machine that just chews you up and spits you back out.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe you can make meaningful art everywhere.
Absolutely.
The first 2 DECAYS films were made in my hometown. So was WITHERED.
And they popped off.
Yeah. And I'm selling WITHERED.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was shot in fucking nowhere, South Dakota. And it looks gorgeous, you know? Like, as soon as you start leaving LA, you start getting into scenery. It's like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
This looks phenomenal on camera. But in LA, it's like, oh, we can just green screen it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Same old, same old.
yeah. Like I think I really appreciate LA right now because like this is where all the young artists are now.
Connections and everything.
Yeah, connections. We work together. You know,
Of course.
build up a resume. But no, I'm not the biggest fan of this city.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love if at the very least I can go somewhere at some point.
Okay.
And Ian, our business manager, he's in New York.
Yeah.
Works fully remotely, but he's still on top of things.
That's
He's
awesome.
doing our taxes right now, the motherfucker. But no, I don't think there'd have to be some changes made for sure. But with my current position in some productions, I think it is fully possible if I were to go somewhere. It could maybe stay majorly based here in LA.
Yeah.
But like I can still do my creative director duties
Of course.
from afar.
That's fire.
We'll see what happens. You know, I got a little show I'm working on that might keep me here a couple more years.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But no, I love Colorado.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's a very pretty state. And I don't know, a Some Dude studio in Colorado. That's sick.
That would be fire. That would be amazing.
Yeah. A Some Dude studio in general. That's not just my house.
That'd be just
Yeah.
amazing. I can imagine that. I can already envision that. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool. Oh, dude,
One day.
one day. I know you do a lot of acting. You do a lot of directing. Do you have a preference for whichever one?
Directing.
Directing?
Yeah, I when I was a kid, I saw the 2003 Hulk movie, and I was like, I want to be the Hulk. I realized that wasn't possible, and it was a movie. I was like, oh, he was acting? Well, I guess that's the next best thing.
Okay.
And so I was like, I want to be an actor, and I want to play the Hulk. Soon the Hulk part left, and I was like, I want to be an actor. And then I realized, as I was coming up, I was like, oh, that's kind of hard to do. I'm gonna literally in my head, I was like, I'm gonna reverse Ben Affleck. I'm gonna direct a movie, just cast myself as the lead.
I love that. I love that.
So that's kind of what I did with my web show. But now, coming up, doing all these different productions, everything, working with all these different people, I'm like, no, I get much more joy behind the camera and like putting the pieces together for all this. I'll still act. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of similar to my project outlook. Like if someone asked me to act in a thing, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not out auditioning anymore. So
That's fair. That's fair.
yeah, because that's not the thing that really gives me joy necessarily. Like again, I get joy doing it, but I don't feel lost if I'm not like actively acting.
As a creative director, how do you determine, just being like, you know what? I mean, I could direct everything. I could work on everything, but I won't do this. I won't do this.
Well, quite honestly, it's my own sanity. So I'm like, I could do
Your
all this,
schedule.
sure, but like, I would burn out so quickly, and I think that's what's been so nice about having the team is being able to delegate and everything. And like, well, for example, you're currently DP for a film that I wrote, but our buddy Gabe Finn is directing.
Yes, sir.
And I'm involved as producer, and also I stumbled into an acting role
Yeah.
on that one.
Yes, sir.
That's usually how it happens. It's like, oh, this role needs to be filled. Who could we get?
Might
And
change
I'm just
that.
there on my computer taking notes or some
I
shit.
can do it, guys. I got it, guys.
Yeah. And then even there's another. Obviously, we're doing the horror shorts.
Yeah.
Another one we're doing where it's like a little scoop for you, like a found footage type, like a production gone wrong.
This would be so cool.
And just since it's like a production gone wrong, and anybody who's there on set will be by necessity in the film and have to act in the film.
Okay.
And so me, who's on every set,
Yeah.
it was kind of Keeney was like,
Okay, smart.
Yeah, you're gonna act. in this one."
Absolutely.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Man.
He wants you in that one too.
Huh?
He wants you in that one.
Has he told me?
He told me.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm down.
we'll talk.
I'm down for whatever, bro.
But
I'm
no,
honored.
it's and how I ended up in Serov was very funny. So I play William Hawkins, the CIA director. When Ian was like doing his initial like pitches for that film and everything, and kind of like revealing who he had cast already and all this shit. On the cast list, I was just on there already.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
okay.
I guess I'm in this. Okay, cool. Like I'd read the script by that point. I knew I read Hawkins, obviously.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I'm playing that guy. Cool.
You're just down for it.
Yeah. It was fun. I had a great time with that. I got to wear big Stan Lee glasses and comb my hair down the middle. I look like Dwight. But and then like Big B is my DK's character. He was the first lead.
Big B.
And people really fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
I get a huge amount of joy playing Big B. No, he's... I don't know. I feel like I've really bonded and grown with him over the years.
Absolutely.
I've been playing him since I was 19.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
So it's really fun to have a character that's kind of growing with you.
That's actually really
in
cool.
a way.
That's the dream, to have a character like that. That's really cool.
And I don't know. I'm also nowadays I'm very protective over him and like the stories we
Of course.
tell about him. As of recording, one of the last things Sunbeam Productions has posted is the canceled Gravesley Part 2, which is another canceled project. But that one was the fault of a crashed hard drive where we lost footage.
Unfortunately.
And so we collected what footage we did have of that film and threw it on our Patreon.
That's cool.
And I've got a lot of people being like, "Oh, would you ever like finish this?" And I'm like, "No," just because that story doesn't really interest me now. And also with stuff we're kind of doing moving forward, it kind of contradicts that. And I'm kind of glad what would have been canon in that film isn't anymore.
Yeah.
And there's other like, if you write for the DECAYS series, I tell people, I'm like, more likely than not, you can't use Big B, but if you want to, you have to make a really good
You gotta make a goddamn good,
for why you want Big B in this film.
That's cool.
Because I kind of want, because he's in a lot of them, and moving forward, since we're expanding and telling new stories from different characters, and that I want to be. I don't want like him to turn into like a fully a Luke Skywalker, but like when like Luke showed up in Mando, and you're like, oh shit, it's Luke.
Oh
like,
shoot!
Yeah, like I don't want like that full extent for Big B. Like this, he's like this legendary figure. Everyone's like, oh shit, it's Big B.
Oh fuck!
But like, I want when he does show up, I want it to like mean something.
It's impactful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we are. Here's another little scoop for you. We are in active development of a new Big B feature.
Okay. How far?
And my co-lead would be Victoria.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't think I've ever been more excited for a Big B story.
Yeah.
He's a big lone wolf guy.
Absolutely.
Throughout a lot of the series, he's out on his own doing his own shit.
Yeah.
And so honestly, part of why I didn't want to revive Gravesley Part 2 or do any other story like that is because the lone wolf thing didn't interest me anymore. I was like, I played that to hell.
Okay.
I'm real good at looking cool as shit walking through fields by myself. I don't know. I want to do something else. And so kind of we were coming up with the ideas for this film. And I was like, what if it's like not like a full Deadpool and Wolverine, but like a...
Oh, okay.
Like
I see what you mean.
Big B, not just a Big B movie, Big B and someone else.
Yeah.
And we landed on Tori as her character, Jennifer. And with the story circumstances, they have a really interesting dynamic that it's gonna be really cool to play with. We are shooting it in Dakota.
Okay.
That was my 2 criteria for the movie. As I was like, if I'm doing it, I need a co-lead, and I can't shoot this shit in LA, man. I gotta shoot this somewhere else.
We gotta be different.
So yeah, we're working on that right now, and I'm so excited.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, he's the one acting thing I do where I'm like, yeah,
effortless, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Everything else I have fun, and I'll give it my full effort and everything. But no, Big B is that man is special.
It's fire to
me.
I was gonna ask you what your favorite role is, but that's pretty obvious.
There he is.
Very obvious.
Another thing about him is he has forever ruined my not even my depth perception, but like my eye mannerisms.
What do you mean?
So when he first loses his eye in the first movie, and I had to like cover my eye with bandages, and that was so disorienting for doing that for the first time. But then I kind of started to get used to it, where like the depth perception loss isn't too bad for me, and I can act with the one eye. But now, I have 20/20 vision. Sometimes if I really need to focus on something, I close the eye that gets covered by the eye patch, my left eye, so I can focus on something a bit better.
So you somehow...
I never had to do that before.
You somehow altered... Wow.
You're wearing that eye patch so goddamn much.
God damn. Okay, well, it's a part of your life now.
No, yeah, and I'm like...
It's part of you.
That's cool. It's quite literally a part of me.
Yeah. I've never heard that before. That's actually insane.
It's so funny. Like, it's not like...
Wow.
Like sometimes Naomi, my partner, will catch me doing that, where I'll be like looking at something on my phone, I have my one eye closed.
That's crazy, bro. That's like, dang. Oh my goodness. Well, what was the most? What would you say is the most chaotic project that you've been a part of that did go through, and that did succeed?
Well, what's your definition of success?
Well, I mean, it got made, but also, I mean, it got released, it got published.
Okay. Posted. I would say, honestly, NDA. NDA was a satirical comedy film that we made, where every actor, every character was just an exaggerated version of themselves. So I played Brandon, the crazy head of Some Dude Productions. Keeney played my assistant. Ian was the crazy director. Naomi was the super like Zen writer who was one with the trees. Like it's funny. And Brooke McDougall was our lead. Is like the new like stepping into Some Dude Productions. Let's make a movie with these guys and just chaos. That movie took way too long to shoot.
What do you mean? It's like
the production availability, but also I don't know, just like overall effort. I don't know. I low-key could have put a bit more effort in because we swapped directors at one point. My buddy Alex was gonna do it originally, and he shot and directed like the first 2 days. But then it was like a weird thing with his schedule, and it became clear he wouldn't be able to do it. So I took on the reins as director, and then kind of had to bring it all together by the end. But eventually ended up coming out. It in terms of like views, it didn't do super well, but whatever. But I think it's so fucking funny. Yeah, because it's just like, as much as the humor is sometimes aimed at like Some Dude Productions jokes. Yeah, I also tried to make it wide enough to like, if you know nothing about Some Dude Productions, you can still fuck with this and find it funny. Okay. Yeah, just took way too long. There's some scenes that were in the script that never even ended up getting shot, so we had to like work around it in the edit in certain ways. Okay. Very interesting. It happens. Yeah. There was also a section where all the characters after the company collapses, they're all smoking pot, dipping their feet in a little kiddie pool that's in the middle of their living room. Okay. Which we actually shot high. Yes, okay. I remember that. Which was fun. We lit up like, all right, roll cameras. That's and so it's a lot of like that scene is a lot of just like long like takes or whatever, just because it's us just. Y'all are so it was fun though, and that's the art of it, man. That's what I don't know. I love the little stories that go into like making any film. To be honest with you, because I'm like that's the artistry of it, really. Yeah. Not even the final product, but also the steps along the way. Everything that happened up to that point. Yeah. And I also kind of tangentially related to that. I feel like it's also very easy to like look back at your old stuff and be very judgy and be very harsh. Absolutely. I'm very guilty of that. But recently I've started to frame it in a different way. When I look back at old work, I'm like, no, those were the brushstrokes. Okay. Like of a painting. You can't change the brushstrokes of a painting. Okay. You know? And those were my brushstrokes that I did at the time. Back however many years ago that project was, and that's what I did then. Yeah. And that's what I put out. That's what I was proud of.
I'm honestly, I need to learn how to adopt to that. I need to.
It's been nice. I be filmmaker though, but I have some stinkers, and I love them. Like
As you should. You should love all
yeah.
your babies. Yeah. Man, it's weird because, obviously seeing you guys have made so many projects, and it's like having directed the first one, and very grateful for it and very happy for it. But it's like, obviously there's things I wanted to do. I wish I could have done differently. And then also just things I didn't account for.
Yeah.
Because, just making a film.
Of course.
And so I'm like wanting to, I don't know what the second one's going to be, but wanting to make another one and wanting to be like, what is it possible that this could be the perfect one? Or it's like, could this be the one where it's absolutely just amazing? It has to be amazing in all aspects now that I've made a one already. And I'm
Right.
like, but it seems that with you guys, with creating, it's like, okay, we have an idea. We have a good idea. Let's just attach people to it. Let's make it happen. And let's make something really cool out of this. Yeah. And just, whether it be maybe the cinematography or maybe the audio, whatever. Maybe it could be better or maybe it could be, who knows. But like, we made something and it's fire as hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you drop a movie that is perfect and you think it's perfect, you're too late. You waited too long.
Interesting.
You gotta. Why I have no like a lot of people sit on their movies like, oh yeah, it's not perfect, it's not this, blah blah blah. I hate this aspect of it. It could be the tiniest fucking thing of a finished product that they don't like. It's like, I'm not gonna post it. I'm like, you gotta get over it because that's how you learn. Like honestly, the amount of projects I've put out and now looking back, I'm like, oh, I would do this differently. That's part of learning. Yeah. You gotta kind of like
that's fair.
Look back at your stuff, see how you would quote unquote fix it per your standards now. Yeah. And then kind of carry that into the next one. Okay. It's all lessons. And that's why I'm very grateful that with the Some Do Productions channel, I have a literal history of every production I've done. Yeah. Everyone can see them.
That's a lot, man.
There's almost 20K subscribers have access to all the vaults. And I'm just, that's
cool.
It's crazy at times. And especially like my early high school shit is still on the channel. That's bad, dude. it's I love it, but it's so bad. But I would never, ever take it down ever.
That's fire. That's a really healthy mindset.
Because I don't know. It's like, at the end of the day, it's honestly for me. You mentioned it earlier with like getting stuff made. For me, it's fully story driven. It's just stories that I'm like, I like this either aesthetically or I like the thrill of this or I like the message of this. Okay. Either way, it's a story I want to tell and I want to share with other people. I want to get other people's reactions. What do you think of my story? Yeah. Do you have any notes for my next story? I don't know. I was in elementary school, just in free time, I would just be like in like Word, just like writing shit. Because I was like, I don't know, I like telling stories. Kid, man. I know, fucking this guy in third grade.
Already creating stuff.
I know.
God damn.
But no, so I think that's also part of why writing and telling stories kind of comes easy to me at times. Especially with just practice and doing it so often.
Writing from the start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you prefer writing or directing more?
I like writing because I don't have to figure out the directorial problems.
Okay.
I feel like I'm naturally kind of like when I'm writing, I also have production in mind, which is something a lot of writers don't do.
Too ambitious.
Yep. They'll give a script and we'll be like, how the fuck are we going to do this?
You guys are going to travel overseas and you guys are going to...
Yep. But so I already have that like buffer of like, I'm writing this to make this. Yeah. So there's already like, don't go too crazy. Okay. But there's also elements of like, I know my team, I know me and my people. Like, I can push us a little bit. Okay. And I think for me, what's vastly important for a writer is getting a first draft out. Yeah. Or even just a rough draft. You need a script that has a beginning and an end. And then you can fuck off for 5 years. But that script won't really be much worth to you if it's not finished. Okay. I have a whole menagerie of scripts that I just wrote and I
you?
finished, and I'm like, all right, I just have that now because of the story I had in mind.
You just be writing.
Sometimes, yeah.
How often do you write, man?
It comes in bursts for me. Like sometimes I'll hit a week where I'm like, I'm feeling on there.
Yeah.
Like, the words are fucking coming off my fingers as I type this. But sometimes where I struggle with it. But whenever I do get going, it does flow pretty quickly because I also find myself thinking about my writing almost all the time.
Yeah.
Or I'll just be like thinking of the thematic structure and like the characters and like their arcs and everything. Just like when I'm on the porch, like smoking a joint or something, you know, just like hanging out. I'll be like, what are they going to do in this episode? How is this going to motivate them moving forward? And like,
man.
And then it all kind of just, I have this weird issue where if I write something down, my brain's like, oh, you don't need to remember this anymore. And it forgets it. But if I don't write it down, my brain's like, I got to hold on to this.
Oh, so you're saying if you write an idea, you kind of just store it away and you just kind of forget about it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like,
interesting.
If you have access to these, but if you go to like my character and show notes for the show,
yeah,
they're like a little sparse.
Okay.
But like the notes in here,
yeah,
are fucking insane. Yeah, but I don't write them all. I write down the ones I'm like, I know I'll need to communicate this to other people.
Okay.
But a lot of the other ones I'm like,
so you can pitch it to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like the rest of them I'm like, you write that, you're gonna fucking lose it.
Interesting. How do you go about delegating, bro? Like, I feel like, I mean, as a creative director, and also just, you know, the person who started everything, I feel like if I see any project, I'm gonna want to be just a part of it in any way. Like, I want to have a influence, or I just want to have my name on it. But I feel like with you, have a great sense of. I mean, it's also a testament to your character, but I just feel like if there's a project going on and it's really cool, you're just like, yeah, make it, just do it, and just go about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We're producing something right now called Forever. Is written and co-directed by my friend Tess and Naomi.
Yeah.
It's definitely a feminist piece as they described it, and that's admittedly an area that I don't have a lot of knowledge on.
Yeah.
I don't want to like say, like, they literally asked me like, are you a feminist? I'm like,
Okay.
I don't know enough about what that means to give you a proper answer.
It's okay.
And they're like, okay. But I am very supportive of people sharing, or like just like having their voices heard.
Yeah.
And sharing their viewpoints and everything. And so when Tess was like, I want to make this film, I was like, fuck yeah. Like please do. Like I mentioned earlier, I want to be a very warm and welcoming, not only set, but a company. Just because the industry is so fucking vile.
Yeah.
And racist. And holy shit, it's crazy. And so I want to, though it may not be stories I might not relate to personally, I still want to make sure I offer a platform in which they're able to be shared.
Okay.
And so like for that one, for example, that's another one where I acted in that one, but that's because my girlfriend was a co-director and they needed an extra. But otherwise, I was producer and I was there for some meetings, but I let them cook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my input won't add too much here. And there's other projects like,
interesting.
Maddie Moran made a horror short through us last year called "Wanna Hit," and it was the same thing. I was producer on that one. I showed up set a few times whenever brought whatever they need or whatever.
Yeah.
But tried to be very hands off because they had a whole crew. Maya Gardner was DP.
Yeah.
Gabe was there gaffing. Andre was there stunt coordinator. It was a lot of people who I trusted.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
you guys got it.
I don't need to be here. I trust you guys.
Yeah.
I trust you to bring this vision to life. And so it's something I always try to also emphasize to the team. Like, if you're doing a production and I don't seem like I'm like fully into it, it's not because of a lack of interest or anything. I just trust you.
That's cool.
Like, I got my own shit I'm working on.
That's
I don't need my grimy little mitts on everything.
That's a good feeling.
So, yeah, and I don't know, because with my writing, I'm very like, I like bouncing ideas off of people, but a lot of my writing I like to kind of keep like to Brandon. Writing rooms have never done it for me personally.
No.
I mean, I think they're good for ideas, but if you get a group of people all together in a room trying to write one thing, I think that is insane.
I feel like, with the projects that you guys have done, it's usually been either you or Sam, I feel like, that are writing most of the time.
And there's sometimes we'll do like a co-writing type of beat. Not even with us, but like other people. But like, I don't know, just with how I've come up as a writer, I generally love bouncing ideas off people, you know, and brainstorming. But in terms of like sitting down, getting words on paper, more than one person, that's hard for me.
Okay, I see that. Interesting, man. I'm so curious. Well, what would you say you are most proud of when it comes to Some Dude Productions, rather than just obviously the fact that they get off the ground and everything? It's been,
I was gonna say the fact that we're still here is pretty cool.
Yeah, of course. Or I guess what's your biggest achievement? Do you feel like?
I think honestly, for me, well, I mean, we'll have to see. You know, we have yet to see the fruits of the labor. But what really invigorated me at a time that I really needed it was the WITHERED distribution deal.
Yeah, that is huge.
Because at that point,
that was huge.
Right, I had walked the stage that May.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't done yet. I had one semester left because I took a gap semester during COVID. So I was,
I'm doing the same thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I walked. I was doing that last semester, brother. It's gonna be tough. I'll let you know now because it's so like just that last semester where it's like,
bro, I'm getting a little frustrated right now because with everyone, you know, graduating and everything, and walking the stage. Well, I mean, first of all, I'm scared to just be walking the stage because I'm like, is my name there? Am I good? Can I just go on the stage and I'm good to go? But yeah, also the fact that I'm just gonna be here another semester. It's just gonna be one class. I'm not gonna be doing anything else. Yeah. So I'm like, when am I?
I had a full schedule.
You had a full schedule?
I had a full 18 units.
Oh no, man. Oh no.
Yeah. So like I was in a very
very precarious situation.
I had nothing to look forward to.
Man,
is what was happening because I was like, even when I finish these classes, I'll be like, I'll be done with classes. But like, I already walked. I did the whole thing. Had the confetti and everything. You know?
Wow.
Like, so I'm just a matter of cleaning up.
That's crazy.
Now, so I was very like, well, what am I even doing here? Like, it was a little bad.
Damn.
And then we got the WITHERED email, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm doing here.
That makes it worth it.
So I would say, just for that, probably just for its timing.
That's cool. That came at the perfect time.
Yeah,
that's cool. Man. Are you gonna miss USC?
I think so. It's funny. I walking here is my first time being on campus in a minute. Dude.
Yeah.
The energy is so like not weird, but it's like.
Is it different?
This is how Naomi and I describe it. It's kind of like I'm on a different server for the same game.
Okay. That you're not really used to.
Well, like, you know, like all the players, it's not the usual players who I played with.
Yeah,
you know. So it's like the vibe's a little different, but like it's also still like
it's still the thing that you know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And like, you know, I'm at Costco almost every day with a bunch of old people. We're like, what's that for Kasha?
You're back.
So now I'm back in like, all right, my generation, my peers.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
I will say it was very freeing walking through campus with nothing on me, and everyone has their backpack.
I haven't done that.
You know,
haven't done that in years,
dude. It was I felt weird like going through this with my yerb.
Damn.
I was like, no bag on me, no nothing.
I always got a bag. I always got a suitcase, or I got something going on. I'm hoping next semester with the one class that I can spend the rest of that time either doing theater or doing projects. And honestly, I guess it may work out really good of being on campus one more time, and so just having automatically free weekends and free most nights, and not having to worry about all the commitments and classes.
No, it's good you only got the one class you guys had. I mean, it's a little annoying, but it's better than.
And plus, it's all early in the morning, I think.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to have all that in the morning, and then the rest of the day, nothing to do.
Oh yeah, dude, I literally. It was so bad, and this just goes to show how over I was in that final semester. I fully almost failed a class that would have.
You did?
Almost.
You almost?
That would have made me not graduate.
Oh, bro.
So close. I literally I like to send emails at the end of the semester just to professors.
So I'm saying. That's nice.
Just like, hey, thank you for everything. Thanks for teaching me.
Absolutely.
I knew my grade was tough in this one, so I was extra nice.
That's cool.
In that one, and it was like a
What class was it?
oh god, what the fuck? It was a communications one. It was like with like identities, like
Brother, communication. Was it Annenberg?
oh yeah,
Oh, man.
oh yeah, man.
Oh, man. Oh,
But it was
man.
it was interesting because it was like communication across relations and like race and everything. You know, as a Native American, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
So it was interesting, but I was just in such a bad headspace.
Yeah. Just wasn't for you.
Yeah, and so I was honest with her in the email, but we never like had like office hours or anything. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I gave her the whole spiel. I was like, yeah, no, as a native, it was cool to learn, like apply it to learn these terms to things that I've perceived throughout my life.
That's cool.
And she gave me an email back, and then I get my grades, and like I had just passed.
Wonderful.
So I'm like, I was
Hey,
gonna fail, and
that's
that
what I'm
email
talking
saved
about.
me.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that's just like the industry, man. It's all about people liking you.
It's all about making connections.
Yeah.
Man. Make a good impression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Who is, what's a collaboration that you would like to do? Honestly, that's a broad question. I'll start smaller. With Some Dude Productions, what company, I guess, would you like to work with? If there is a company that you are kind of working towards.
You know, there was a time where I would have said Corridor Digital.
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers be using too much AI though.
Oh,
nowadays.
I see. Okay, that's fair.
This is something I actually wanted to bring up today.
That is fair.
Just AI.
Yeah.
But to very quickly answer your question before we do move on.
Doesn't have to be anyone.
You know what? And literally just because I would love to see these people take on dramatic roles.
Yeah.
Smosh.
Okay.
I think Smosh
Oh,
low-key has
wow.
some very talented actors, and I'm like,
Smosh would be cool
you're
as hell.
you're very funny, you're very comedic. I want to see
Okay.
you do some fucking drama.
That would be a cool collaboration to see them in an actual serious setting and like an actual theatrical. Yeah.
Right?
Okay. I've never kind of thought about
Dude,
that.
especially I think my favorite Smosh member is Shane.
Yeah.
That motherfucker especially, like, I'm like, you're
Shane's
talented,
very
dude.
talented. He's a wonderful
You
guy.
could do some cool shit.
He would be really cool. Oh man, if you had Shane in a Some Dude Productions project,
that would
dude,
be sick, dude. Dude, Shane from iCarly.
Wow. Okay, that's fire.
But anyway,
That's fire. Okay,
AI, dude. I
Man,
'Cause
that's
this-
a good point. Quarter Digital is a really cool studio, but they do use AI a lot, and they're not
recently
shy about it.
No, because then there was one video they posted within the past couple of months where it was like making a practical muzzle flash. Like, that's sick. We do a lot of muzzle flash work. So I click
Yeah.
on it, and he's talking about having some sort of airsoft gun that like emits off light as a muzzle flash. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, so now I'm just gonna throw into ChatGPT. How do you do this? And I'm like, and he's like, I'm gonna follow these steps. I'm like, you lost me.
Damn.
You fully fucking lost me. But I'll be honest. In like the early days, I'm guilty of sharing AI art.
Yeah.
But it was back in the era when I thought it was very fucking funny and not good at all.
Yeah.
So it could be like a pimped out Master Chief or some bullshit, just like very clearly AI, very clearly goofy. And I would share stuff like that because I'm like, this is stupid. Look
Whereas
at this.
now it's like it's extremely intentional. Like you know
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's very much like trying to pass it off as their own art.
yes, that's often most
And
cases.
obvious, and also like the whole replacing actual artists
Yes.
and everything. And it's so fucking phony and artless and talentless.
Right
and
now,
I
I'm
hate it.
seeing. Have you seen the Studio Ghibli stuff that's been coming out?
Yes, of course. That's what sparked me. I was like, I want to talk to Trey about
Yeah,
AI.
yeah.
That's
I've been looking at that recently.
awful, dude.
It's fascinating, hearing or just seeing all of these kind of different works, but then also, knowing that, I'm forgetting his name, who created Studio Ghibli.
Miyazaki.
Yeah, and knowing and hearing his passion thing about this is not art. This is actually slop. This is
not at all
trash.
It's there. I feel like there was initially, and then to my initial postings of them, there was this initial like, oh, a computer created this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That's fascinating.
But now it's like, okay, a computer created this.
Yeah.
How about something a fucking person created? But to an earlier point of mine of like trying to steer away from the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I unfortunately
Oh.
believe we are entering a dark period of the industry of AI
It's gonna be inevitable.
slop.
Mm-hmm.
It
People are trying to make people are trying to make entire movies out of AI.
Yeah, and I'm like, I will say the one AI trailer I've ever found funny, and that made me go, I might watch that one. There's one called Uncle Bus,
Oh God, what is that title, bro? That's a crazy
and it's
title.
Tom Hanks, and he is a man turned into a school bus, and he has to race the devil. Otherwise, everyone's gonna become school buses.
What, bro?
There it is.
That looks terrifying. What is this?
That is the only AI trailer that I saw. I'm like, okay. Rest of this is ass. This one, I'm a bit forgiving of this one.
Oh my lord. Oh my
It's-
God.
It's also great because it's bad AI. You know?
Oh my
I feel like
God. It looks horrible.
I feel like today we're getting to a point where it's like the AI videos. I'm like, sure, that looks realistic in a way, but like it's still ass. That is pure.
Wow. Wow. This looks actually horrifying. I'm so
Yeah.
glad they can't see this. What is going on here? Dude.
Yeah.
What are y'all oh.
But like,
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Ew. Why is Timothy in this? Why is Timothy? Okay, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna.
Tom Hain.
Tom Hain. Okay, we're gonna.
But
Wow.
we're here at UFC, liberal arts college, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of people here are obviously pretty anti-AI
Yeah.
and voice that. Fuck, dude, Facebook, all the millennials and all
they
the
keep
Gen
sharing
X on
AI
Face-
posts.
Yeah, dude, they're eating that shit up.
Yeah.
Fucking
Thinking everything's real.
thinking it's real or just they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
Just
because
kinda
like
sharing reposts.
we're all artists, so we understand the sloppy dirtiness
what it's
that is
doing, yeah.
this. But they don't. They're like, whatever. I was in a fucking a Michaels or some shit with my grandma before, and they're selling AI art now.
What do you mean?
Like you know, they have like they're
in
like
the paintings?
yeah,
Huh?
and like they have like the tin art or whatever.
What?
Because I saw one from far, I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And I got closer, I was like, oh,
Oh, that's not.
the AI
that
alarm
don't
bell
look-
started going off. I was like,
Interesting.
so it's gonna get
I didn't know
bad.
they was doing
dude.
that.
It's gonna get bad. Which
What's the point of that? Why replace that?
save money because that's
What?
that's it. I mean, it's something we talked about earlier. It's a business, so it's like, oh, if we use AI, we don't have to pay an artist to do this.
Oh yeah. Oh, fuck.
And so then that's gonna eventually just
Who's one of the-
snowball into a whole fucking movie.
Isn't there a CEO or someone that was, I don't know if it was a Slav or whatever, but they're like, yeah, we have an initiative. We're going to go forward with making some movies with some AI scripts. And,
Disney.
oh, Disney?
It was Iger.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was Bob. It was him. Yeah, that's true. I can completely understand why you wouldn't want to kind of dip into that.
Yeah,
That-
because the industry right now, it's not the industry I fell in love with. The industry I fell in love with, I don't think ever existed.
yeah, we probably had
Yeah.
a lot of idealized versions of what the Hollywood was.
But what I truthfully fell in love with is the art making process of making films with my friends.
Yeah.
So long as I can keep doing that, I'm cool. Even if that just manifests as somebody productions does DECAYS films for the next 50 years.
It would be your original idea.
Yeah.
It'd be, yeah.
Because I think if so long as not only somebody productions, but also all legitimate artists stay strong throughout this wave of AI slop,
Yeah.
who knows how long that wave will be, but there will come a time where people are calling for art made by people again,
Of course.
no matter how bad it's going to get.
Of course.
But it is going to get bad.
And I think, and plus, I feel like the community has been extremely unified when it comes to whenever there's been any sort of AI, there's always backlash.
Oh, yeah.
Always. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't think they're going to be uncompromising
Nope.
at all. They
Not at
haven't
all.
been.
No.
I know Marvel, what wasn't there? I forgot what show it was.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion with the
title
intro,
sequence.
the title sequence.
Gross, dude.
And of course, the whole brutalist thing that happened.
Yep.
What did you think about that?
I think I was pulling for Timothy. I think he is going to get an Oscar, if not next year, then
I agree.
soon.
Completely agree. He needs it.
I was a little rubbed the wrong way on
Yeah?
Brody's win. Just I think so. I haven't seen Brutalist, to be completely fucking fair.
You need to.
I will. There's a built-in intermission, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a 15-minute
That's
intermission.
good.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Just I think the only area in which I think AI in art is okay is visual effects / animation, where you're trying to do such minute details on a person's face that you, the human, can't necessarily
replicate
or even perceive those differences. Whereas an AI might be able to help you make it look a little smoother, but not take over the whole process of it.
Of course.
So that's why I'm a little gray with like the accent enhancement. I'm like, it is still driven by Adrian, but the tampering with no, but it is the performance, and you did win Best Actor for it. No, maybe I don't like it as much as I initially thought.
In my mind, it was when I saw everything, it was just like, oh no, this is like really bad if it is AI. But then I thought when they got to the director got more into a discussion of what they actually did, I was like, okay, this seems a bit more understanding. So I was a bit taken aback by the backlash because people were making it seem as if his entire performance was AI.
Right. I figured it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they were saying like the accent itself was AI, whereas they were just being like, well, Adrian did all those things. It's his accent and whatnot, but it was like just like pretty much perfecting it, like you say, perfecting it, and also typing it off to make it absolutely perfect, so that there's no one that can kind of distinguish it.
I think my only grievance with that argument, though, even though I'm the one who fucking presented it, is there's such an obsession with making art that's lifelike, perfect,
it's grounded,
exactly grounded, whatever.
Absolutely.
I recently and finally watched Flow.
I haven't watched it yet.
So fucking good, and it's just such a unique art style. And yeah, they look like animals, but they're also not like anamorphically correct. Yeah, you know, like,
you don't care.
No, fuck no. And same with like Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that's true.
They resemble humans, sure, but their proportions are all fucking wonky.
Absolutely.
But fuck it,
and we love it.
Yeah, so I'm also like, in lieu of like the brushstrokes philosophy, I'm like, even if you're missing details on something, that's a brushstroke. You get the whole
picture. Yeah, absolutely. Plus, I mean, to be fair, if I think about it myself, I'm like, if I was an actor and someone told me I want to add AI to your performance, or if your performance is there's gonna be some kind of AI, I'd feel horrible. I'd be like, I don't want that. Yeah. So to be fair, I'm like, I can also still understand why people are upset, and it's like, because I think they said Adrian agreed to it, and he was like, go for it. I think I'd be like, no, don't do that. Yeah. You know, and just knowing the backlash too, because I wouldn't have been surprised if that stumped their whole campaign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that probably
But yeah, with AI stuff though, I can say with confidence, some new productions
will
not be using any sort of generative AI or
absolutely not
anything.
I don't see that happening at all.
To the point, Heretic actually did this. In their credits, in the credits it says there was no generative AI used in the making of this film. I'm like, all right, we're going to have to start adding that now.
I think the Oscars is going to make that a requirement that you have to acknowledge
disclose
if you use AI or not, and then
good
probably have that. Yeah. Do you guys, for some new productions, now obviously this is way down the line, but you know, whether it be from best makeup, best production design, best cinematography or something, dude. If awards came around and it was a possibility, man.
I think
you ever think about that stuff?
Sometimes I do actually. Yeah. I think if SDP is ever going to be tangentially related to some sort of Oscar win, I think it will 100% be some sort of acting win.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
think the actors we work with are phenomenal. I
love that confidence, dude.
I'm a big fucking. You need your director, you need your crew and everything, but your piece is only as strong as your fucking actors are. Like, it's up to them to really fucking sell it, because those are the eyes your viewer is going to be looking into, and that's how they're going to be connecting to this world. Yeah. So if your actors aren't there, that you're already kind of fucking fumbling it from the get-go.
Okay. Wow.
Which kind of talking about earlier with like our crews. That's why I have my people, because I know
for a fact
fucking good.
Absolutely.
And I also love to push them. Like Alyssa, for example, does a lot of vertical stuff and everything, and
Yeah.
verticals. I mean, it's awesome that she's getting them, but like, I've helped Naomi with vertical auditions.
Yeah.
I've read those scripts.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, absolutely.
So whenever I do have a role available, ready for like Alyssa,
That's
like
really
Tori,
cool.
I try to give them something that's going to push them and give them something interesting to
That's
bite
awesome.
into.
That's really cool.
No, they're also talented. Yeah, if we're going to win an Oscar, it's going to be off one of our actors.
That's
100%.
I love that. That's awesome. But there's also a possibility, man.
Yeah, I mean,
It could be for
dude, DECAYS 60, we could win Best Picture.
DK, 59. You know, it could make
Yeah,
it
man.
could happen, bros. I'm just saying.
Also maybe music though, because like
Music,
Ian, the music he did in Sarah,
You know?
fucking great. But another thing I will say, which is I think also plays into like the acting side of things.
Yeah.
Fucking my good old pal Lexi Minitry, the lead in Sarah, is now Elle Woods in the Legally Blonde
Yes.
prequel series.
Yes, absolutely.
Fucking phenomenal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I saw that news.
and it's, I don't know.
I saw that news. Yeah.
That's another bit of news that reinvigorated me creatively.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she was in our shit too. This is
Yeah.
awesome. Like this is possible.
Yeah, man.
You know?
You can have people that are working in your films, and then also people could they will win
Pop
awards
off.
for being in
Yeah,
your films.
exactly. Because we work with talented people.
And of course, with the camaraderie that you guys have established, and also just the reputation, like I can imagine any of those actors that you've mentioned doing something, popping off, and then being like, I feel just as good being in a Some Dudes production projects because Some Dudes production projects is going to be high quality. It's going to be, it's going to be challenging you. Also, yeah, I love that you said that, where it's like, I want to challenge you acting wise, because most of this stuff, like the verticals or any other projects where it's like the student project, it's like, well, I don't really feel like I'm being pushed. I don't really feel like it's high quality. And so it's cool that, like, if I know Some Dude Productions, I'm like, I can put it on my reel. It's gonna be in my reel.
Hell yeah.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, like we're giving Tori like this crazy bloodthirsty assassin role.
I love
soon.
that.
I'm like, that'll be fun for her.
That's gonna be cool. God damn. I know they're gonna kick us out because I think
Oh yeah, it's about time to go.
it's about time to go. But Brandon,
Trey.
I want you to know that, well, first of all, I am very grateful, very thankful to know you as a
Dude.
friend,
You as well.
but also very proud to have worked and to have collaborated with you, and also to have been in your projects.
Dude.
It's an honor every single time that you want me in your project.
Dude,
Like,
it's
I
an
am
honor to
so
work with
honored
you.
to work with you, dude.
It's an honor to work with you, my man. It's such a joy. I told you earlier, we're working to get you in more shit because you're such
I
a
want
blast.
to.
You talking about our roster? Dude, you're in the roster.
I appreciate that. I love being in a roster because I've had a splendid time every time, and it's so cool to be invested in what you're making too, and to see the universe that you guys are making, and just being like, yeah, I'm acting in this, but I also want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
What the hell's gonna go on?
Right.
And so to hear the projects that you've been making, dude, and that you're gonna make, this is extremely exciting. Obviously, gonna continue supporting.
Of course.
Also, I know I bought the shirt too, so I can't wait to wear it too.
Yeah, do you know those orders should be coming in soon?
I'm excited for that. I bought that
yeah.
immediately.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Expeditiously. But yeah, thank you for being on here. And of
Dude.
course, I had to have you on the list.
Of course, dude. Thank you
course.
so much for inviting me. I had a blast. I feel like I could talk so much longer, but the
kick
tech
me
heads
out.
are gonna come boot
They're
us
gonna
out of here.
attack me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, dude.
Of course, Trey. Thank you.
We did it, bros.
Hell yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Boom.
about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, bros.